So I'm going to start a new series about my personal feelings about things in the Arrowverse. And the reason why it's called controversial is because some of these, people might agree with, some of these people might not agree with. I know I'm definitely going to get some type of response if I post it on like Reddit or something from this video. But so this is the first episode of what I don't know, controversial Arrowverse opinions, or whatever I decide to actually title this thing. So enjoy. The Arrowverse is very odd. A lot of what they were allowed to do at the beginning of it was limited to the characters that were available to them. They started off with the Green Arrow show because they wanted to see if they can kind of use the type of tone that Christopher Nolan had set with his Dark Knight trilogy on a character who was not Batman. And so then that's what led to the creation of Arrow. Well, actually, it was one of the things that led to the creation of Arrow. I think originally they wanted to do a spinoff with Justin Hartley as Green Arrow, and he decided not to do it. I'm not entirely sure, so do not take what I say as facts. I kind of, just kind of stream of conscious saying whatever I say, so don't take it as fact. It's merely opinion or hearsay or whatever. Then The Flash came. They wanted to do something with The Flash and the producers, and they decided that after the success of Arrow, they were going to see if they could introduce Flash into this universe and kind of bring the entire Arrowverse into a more, comic booky state by introducing superpowers. And Arrow Season 2 had Deathstroke, and then The Flash came in, and, all of that happened. Of course, then Supergirl was meant to not be a part of the universe. That's why they made it on a separate network with CBS, and then eventually they roped it into the universe due to just success with that crossover and just generally thinking that would be better served on the CW rather than off of the CW. And Legends of Tomorrow was announced, then Constantine was roped in, yada yada yada, a bunch of things. And at the beginning of it, it seemed as if Green Arrow and The Flash were Green Arrow, The Flash, and Supergirl collectively were stand-in somewhat for Batman and Superman. A lot of the Batman traits went to Green Arrow, with him, being a little bit darker, morally ambiguous in comparison to some of the other heroes, dealing with a lot of street crime, all that stuff. And also just a lot of Batman villains were given to Green Arrow in his first couple of seasons. The Flash, before Supergirl, had a lot of things, like in terms of like traits and personality traits, that were comparable to, you could compare him to like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, but you could also kind of compare him to Clark Kent's, Smallville, like Clark Kent. And then, of course, Supergirl was introduced, and so to me, Kara then started to embody more of what Superman was meant to be. I argue that with the introduction of Superman in Season 2 of Supergirl and Batman in Batwoman, it begs the question of, at this point, does introducing those characters really mean anything? If you think about it, most of these Superman characters have already been seen on screen and fought Supergirl, so having a Superman show now, I don't know what they'll do, because it seems like a lot of those stories have been covered by Supergirl. Now, there's thousands of Superman stories, so they can really do whatever, but Supergirl's basically filled his role. I don't know if they can now try to insert Superman as like a staple figure in this universe, because he's been so kind of irrelevant for such a long time. And Crisis, they have their changes to the universe, so we don't really know how the world's going to be and how they'll incorporate Superman. But it's just a thing to think about. Same thing with Batman, because, Kate Kane, Oliver Queen was the Green Arrow for a very, very long time, even post-Crisis. So the idea that Batman's just kind of been doing this thing in the background is a cool idea, but we're not being introduced to Bruce Wayne, we're not being introduced to Batman or the Bat family. We were introduced to Kate Kane, and then now they're going to bring all that stuff in and kind of do it through some of the Kate Kane character, some of just having Bruce be on the show himself, which that story has been completely disrupted by the recasting, or not the recasting, the, I guess, bringing in of a new character. So we really don't know what that's going to turn out to be. But yeah, that's just really the question I was thinking about. Do we really need Batman and Superman in this universe for it to thrive? Yeah.